Do you find yourself daydreaming about pursuing your passion, but wondering if it's worth the risk? Are you thinking about to change your career path, but worried it might be too late for you? Hey everyone, this is Rosie. I mostly make hand embroidery content on YouTube, but today I'm going to share with you my personal journey of how I changed my career path from a kindergarten teacher to a hand embroidery artist. If you're watching this video, chances are you're feeling a little bit frustrated about your current job, and you may be thinking whether if you should take the leap of faith and change your job. And this is me sharing my experience, thinking of what I would say to my younger self. So I'm going to go through what finally made me to take the leap of faith, and also doubts from myself and my family and friends, all the difficulties I encountered at the time. So if you're unsure about what to do, make sure you stay till the end of the video, and hopefully my journey will inspire you. Okay, so some background story here. I actually studied early childhood education for 5 years and then worked as a preschool teacher for 2 years in Taiwan. My mom used to be a teacher too, so I guess that's why I've always liked teaching and sharing things I love. So after graduating from National University of Education, I passed the teacher qualification test and then became a certified kindergarten teacher. During the 2-year time of teaching, although I did enjoy teaching quite a lot, I still felt like there was something missing. But don't get me wrong, I really did love teaching, and I actually think I'm quite good at it, to be honest. And the salary for preschool teachers is actually relatively high in Taiwan and stable, since you're basically working for the government. And there's also a few benefits like being able to take a 3-month break per year, regular working hours, teacher's pension, things like that. I was 25 years old at the time when I first had doubts in my career path. And before 25 years old, my entire life had always been quite academic. I'd never been to any art school, never been to any professional art training classes. All I knew was that I needed to study hard in order to get into a good university, in order to get a good job, in order to meet someone decent, in order to have a happy family ever after. That was the formula of my life, period. So when I became a certified teacher, my whole family was so proud of me and so happy about my achievement because I was on the right track for them. But then before long, I soon realized that being a teacher isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life. Yes, it was fun and rewarding, but it could also be very draining and exhausting, physically and mentally. I remember my mind would always wander off when working, thinking about all kinds of creative ideas. I even started my first YouTube channel back then. And that's when I realized that creativity is really where my passion's at. So I started to practice drawing in my free time, not just like some random doodles whenever I felt like it. It was like seriously practicing 3 to 4 hours every day. It was only a small hobby at first, and I didn't really think about things like, oh, I'm gonna be an artist in the future. That wasn't realistic for me. I just knew that I needed to do something to spice up my life a little bit. As I invested more and more time into practicing, I felt more and more rewarded. And there's one day when I stumbled upon this fashion illustration tutorial on YouTube. For some reason, I was instantly drawn into it. That was the beginning of my adventure. And after that, I started to watch more YouTube videos about fashion design. The more I delved into it, the more I was fascinated by it. And before I knew it, I applied to a fashion course in Shijian University in Taiwan. Then, in 2019, I came to the UK for the first time to study fashion design. Right, so now let's talk about some difficulties I encountered. So when I first started to think about pursuing my fashion, I was filled with fears and doubts like everyone else. Just the idea of giving up a decent job and stable salary, it was just terrifying. And I didn't really know if it would be worth it for me to take the risk. I didn't want to make a mistake that would impact my future. On top of that, I had to deal with the pressure from my family, obviously, especially my mom. My mom, she couldn't understand why on earth would I want to give up a job that I worked so hard for. And it was understandable for her to think that it was a comfortable route for me to take. So it was really tough to go against her expectations, and we certainly had a few really bad arguments. And also the whole process was just overwhelming. Although moving to another country seemed to be really exciting for me too, it was actually quite scary when you think about it. I had never left home in my entire life, not even when I went to university. My uni was like 5 minutes away from my home. So the whole process, everything from applying to visa, student accommodation, preparing for IELTS, things like that, everything was just new and confusing for me. One of the biggest concerns at the time was my lack of experience in fashion. Even after completing a 9-month course in Shijian University, I still felt like I had so much more to learn. And the thing about fashion is that it's all about aesthetic, and the sense of aesthetic is not gonna happen overnight. It really takes time to brew and to become a part of you, if that makes sense. So it's not like any kinds of physical skill that you can really trying to practice every day and then be pretty good at it. So I didn't know how I would be able to compete with those who have completed their bachelor's degree in fashion. And I wasn't even sure whether I could apply to a fashion school or not without any background. And finally, there was the issue of financial stability. Being a student meant that I was no longer financially independent, and I had to be really careful with every penny I spent. I had to apply to a student loan in Taipei, and it was just quite tough to live on such a tight budget, especially when you've already spent a few years working and being financially independent. I also had to do some part-time jobs along the schoolwork in order to make ends meet. By the way, if you're interested in what part-time job I did, remember to watch this. So those were my biggest concerns at the time. What about you? What's your biggest concern? Let me know in the comments. So in order to overcome those challenges, here's a few things I did. So I talked to some friends who had similar career changes, and I asked for their experience and advice. It kind of helped me to realize that I wasn't alone. It just gave me a sense of community and support. Second, I made plans and realistic goals for myself. I knew that I couldn't become a successful designer or artist overnight, but what I could do is I could take baby steps every day to improve my skills and knowledge. Also, I started to take online courses. Apart from YouTube, I also take courses from Domestika. They got all kinds of different online courses with very reasonable prices. I'll link it down below, have a look of it. I was trying to improve my drawing skills, embroidery skills, just try to observe whatever I could from the internet. For the record, I actually didn't successfully apply to a master's degree in fashion due to the lack of my experience. But what I did is I applied to a graduate diploma in fashion instead, and then I got into master's degree after that. And with time, patience and persistence, things are falling into place. Now, I sell my embroidery works online, and I also do embroidery workshop to teach people how to do embroidery. I resumed my YouTube channel, and my audience is growing slowly but surely. I trusted my gut feeling telling me that everything was going to be alright and everything's going to be worth it. And turns out it was right. It wasn't easy for sure, but I feel like throughout the whole process, I've learned so much about myself and I've grown so much as a person. I discovered that I was more capable and stronger than I ever thought I was. And I just felt this sense of fulfillment that I had never felt before. And also, my mom had finally turned around after seeing how persistent I am, and now she's my biggest supporter. Things won't always go as you planned, but if you're passionate, nothing is going to be big enough to stop you. There will always be a solution to the problem. Just so you know, I'm not saying that I'm successful. I'm still very far away from that. I still need to work on different part-time jobs in order to make ends meet. But what I'm trying to say is, I feel so much happier and so much more accomplished after this decision. I'm loving my life now, and I'm super excited for the future. So I really hope after watching this, you also feel empowered and inspired to pursue your passions and dreams. Remember, you are capable and brave, and you are not alone in this journey. It's never too late to change your career path and to pursue what really makes you happy. Don't give up before even trying, because you never know what amazing experiences and opportunities are waiting for you. So I encourage you to really take a step out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to pursue your dreams. I believe in you, and I can't wait to see what amazing things you'll accomplish in the future. If you still have any doubts or just feel like you need to talk to someone, feel free to drop me a DM on Instagram. Did you also change your career path? Share your experience in the comments. Let's build an inspiring community together. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure you watch this too. Until next time, I'll see you in my next video. Take care and keep creating.